Welcome to week 11 of Ayurvedic habit building program. We're on habit number 5 and this is the implementation week. So today we're ending habit number 5. We have 10 habits for the program in total. So the first half of the program is complete. So we're going to talk a little bit about evening rituals and then talk about all the habits we discussed so far. And preferably, like, I would love for anyone to share their experiences today, and we'll talk about integrating these habits as well. So, looking forward to the session. Um, Welcome again. We can begin, as always, with presence pause. I'll guide you through presence pause and breath regulation. Request you to gently be seated in a comfortable position and close your eyes if possible. Let's begin by bringing our attention to our breath. Just notice your breath. Now shift your attention to your stomach. Observe any sensations in your stomach. Now move your attention to your feet. Observe any sensations on your feet. Now bring your attention to your posture. Just watch your posture. Now watch what's running on your mind. Watch what's running on your mind. And now, how alert or tired do you feel in your body? How alert or tired do you feel in your body? And where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? Now let's start taking deep breaths. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just notice how you're feeling and gently open your eyes. Let's begin our session. So last week, we spoke about evening rituals. Let me do a quick recap of what we discussed. Evenings are a transition phase, as I said, from activity to rest. And we discussed how body needs signals or cues to switch off. It doesn't simply switch off like a button at bedtime. It needs proper cues and rituals to slowly, gradually calm down. And we discussed 3 evening rituals. Pada Bhyanga, calming foot massage with oil. Herbal sleep tea, which is a warm drink that supports relaxation. And journaling, which is a simple way to release thoughts before sleep. And each of these rituals work in a slightly a different way, but the goal is the same, to help the body gradually move from stimulation to rest. I hope you all experimented with these rituals last week, and you can let me know, share here if any particular ritual worked out for you. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to raise your hand. Let's look at some habit hacks for this evening rituals. Okay. Firstly, we discussed how we can unwind in the evening and reduce stimulation in the previous habit. So, a hack here is to replace something you do that is stimulating with a ritual. So, this is one helpful way to implement rituals is to not really add more to your evening, not another thing to do, but replace an existing habit that's not working out for you, that is very stimulating, with an evening ritual that is calming. Say if you're watching screens, you can replace it with journaling instead, something like that. So the key is to keep it very small as well. And it doesn't need to be an elaborate, time consuming ritual. In that case, you would end up not doing it at all. So it's always better to start small, even few minutes, 5 minutes of journaling, for example, would be enough. Anything that you can repeat every day. Figure out what works for you. But repetition is the key because repetition is what trains the body and mind to slow down. And it also helps to start the ritual a little bit earlier than bedtime. Because if we wait until we're really exhausted, the mind often continues racing and the nervous system doesn't really get to settle down. So start it a little bit earlier and be prepared to do these rituals mentally so that you don't just come to bedtime and say, oh, like I have more things to do now. And another thing that is important is to not focus on the task, but focus on the feeling. Because the goal here is to like not do a particular ritual, but the goal is to create this feeling of grounding or settling or slowing down. With all of these rituals, that is the goal. So don't feel it as a task that you need to finish again, but approach it with a feeling of grounding and slowing down. And over time, these rituals, even though if you start small, they become a habit and they signal this safety to the body. And every time you pick up any of these ritual, your body naturally prepares itself for sleep because you've been training it for a long time. So hopefully you get to implement these rituals and start practicing them in whatever way that works for you. As I said, like we're wrapping up the first half of this program. So it's a good moment for us to do some habits check-in. So far, we have explored 5 habits together. And each of these habits is designed to support our body's natural rhythm. So the 5 habits we practiced, and there was a habit number 0, which is presence pause, which is like a baseline to our entire program. The presence pause really helps develop the awareness of our body and mind because all of the habits that we're inculcating are rooted in awareness more than implementing these. I'm pushing awareness more because gradually for long term, these habits stick with us when we are aware of how these positive changes are impacting our body and mind. And breath regulation is our first habit, which helps really calm and regulate our nervous system. And it could be used any time of the day. And then comes our hydration rhythm, which supports the body through proper timing of water intake. And early dinner is about aligning digestion with our body's natural rhythm. And evening unwinding. is helping the body gradually transition into rest by reducing stimulation. And evening rituals are adding supportive rituals to prepare us for rest. So together, all of these habits, they focus on core rhythms and rhythms that support nourishment, settling, and sleep. So I want you all to take a moment to reflect on how you have been able to implement these habits, or at least how you've become aware of these current patterns within your schedule right now. You can reflect on which habits are becoming easy to practice and which ones still take effort to remember, and which habit has made a big difference to you so far. So if anyone is willing to share their experience, I request you to, share it here, so it'll also help the other participants, and encourage everyone to practice it. So is anyone willing to share their experiences?
Yeah, hi. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would like to share my experiences. Uh, I've started a bit late, but present pause is something which I've started with. I'm slowly getting used to it. I have a bit of issues with breathing. Like when I start breathing with retention, I get anxious.
Mhm.
Present pause, I'm completely okay with that. I feel a bit calm after that.
Okay.
And I'm still working out on that breathing part.
Okay.
And hydration, I'm like used to hydration, but not like with the exact intervals of time, like when should I and how much amount of water should I be taking at what time and all. But now I'm like working on it, and still like I don't know how does it make any difference. I need to work out on that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm drinking water like consciously. Before I used to, whenever I feel like drinking, I used to drink randomly.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm doing it a bit more consciously. Before meal, after meals, early morning.
Yeah.
That wise, I feel a bit more channelized like that.
Nice.
Early dinners I've started. I
Mm-hmm.
need to get used to it.
Great.
Yeah. And I have a question regarding that evening ritual,
Mm-hmm.
like applying oil to your foot, massaging your foot with some oils, right?
Yes.
After oiling it, like, can we cover our feet or they should be remained open? How does it work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Typically, you can wear socks. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, that's a great question. You can cover your feet with socks
Mm-hmm.
after oiling because it's usually the oil doesn't just go away. So yeah, I can wear socks, preferably loose socks. And also another thing is you get these open toe socks
Yeah.
uh, that have where your the ends of your toes are open. Those are more preferable because they allow your feet to like breathe a little bit rather than having them covered up completely. So that those will be more preferable.
Yeah, because after the massage, leaving them open is a bit uncomfortable.
Yes,
So
definitely.
it is fine, right?
Yeah, totally fine. Thanks for the question. And also thanks for sharing all the experience. As you said, like you've started pretty recently, and I think great going with all of the habits. For presence pause, great that you're practicing it. I think continue practicing it throughout the program and later too if it's helping you. And with breath regulation, we've addressed that. I've asked you to
Mm-hmm.
stop retaining breath as much and also practice it after presence pause when you're already feeling a little calmer, so you don't start to feel anxious. As I
Yeah.
said, bringing awareness reveals what's happening to you that you otherwise fail to really notice. So
Hmm.
if you're already unconsciously in a little bit of anxiety,
Hmm.
suddenly bringing awareness to your breath
Hmm.
reveals. So you start to feel it more. So you're still helping yourself by being aware, but you just start to see how anxious you're feeling. So start with presence pause and then continue with breath regulation so that you're much calmer when you do that.
Okay.
And yeah, and yeah,
Yeah,
with
things like during the present pause, like not every time this is happening, like at times I feel some weird sensation in my stomach at times and heart at times. Is that okay?
yeah, totally. It's all about just noticing what it is.
Okay.
So, and do not judge it. That's the point of presence pause. Do not judge the sensation, whether if it's okay or not. Just stay with it. Because subconsciously, if you're aware of it, your body knows how to figure it out. It
Okay.
it will reveal what you need to do in order to fix itself, in order to come back to balance. So
Mhm.
just stay with your sensations, whatever they, you don't have to intellectually process them at all.
Okay. Okay then. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. And it's also great that you're following the hydration rhythm. And I know you are still working on it, but the point is to really bring more awareness and consciousness
Yeah.
into these rhythms.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
Hy-
and naturally,
Completely comfortable with present pause and hydration. But like, yeah, conscious drinking is what I need to concentrate on. That's
yes, the point is to like bring more consciousness, bring more awareness, and also being aware of how these changes are impacting you. It comes over time, but that is more important than, say, following a rule. Because if you follow a rule doesn't work the same for everyone.
Mhm.
The most important thing is to listen to your own body. And that only comes from awareness and just noticing, observing
Yeah.
how you're doing these things and how it's impacting you. So take
Yeah.
it slow and keep going. And
Yeah.
great job. Thanks for sharing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any thoughts or questions? Okay.
హలో
Yes, Auntie.
మౌనిక, ఇప్పుడు ఆ అమ్మాయి చెప్పిన బ్రీతింగ్ దాంట్లో
Mhm.
అంటే ఏ రేషియోలో చెప్తున్నావు? 1:2 అనా?
Uh, 2:3. It's like four inhale count of four and exhale count of six.
ఓకే. అంటే ఇన్హేల్ ఈజ్ మనం తీసుకునే గాలి ఎప్పుడూ చల్లగా ఉండాలి, చల్లగా ఉంటది. నేను అబ్జర్వ్ చేసిండేది.
Uh-huh.
వదిలే గాలి ఎప్పుడు వేడిగా ఉంటది. అంటే దట్ మీన్స్ మన బాడీలో ఉండే వేడి అంతా కూడా ఎక్సేల్ తో బయటకు వస్తుంది, రావాలి. ఇస్ ఇట్ రైట్? అది
Yeah,
అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తారు.
yeah, it's more definitely. So exhalation is more cooling and then inhaling because you let the hot air out. Yes, in a way it can be said so.
ఇంకొకటి అమ్మాయి చెప్పినప్పుడు ఆ హార్ట్ అంటే వైల్ ఎక్సేలింగ్ మనకు ఇక్కడ లంగ్స్ దగ్గర ఫుల్ అనిపిస్తుంది.
Mm-hmm.
ఇక్కడ హార్ట్ కొంచెం ఇదిగా ఉంటది. మళ్ళీ ఎక్సేల్ చేసేటప్పుడు స్టమక్ ఇది అవుతుంది.
Mm-hmm.
అది నేను అబ్జర్వ్ చేసిండేది. అట్లే ఉందంటున్నా అమ్మాయి కూడా. అంటే అందరికి అలానే ఉందో, నాకు ఒక్కదానికి అలానే ఉందా? మీకు అందరికి కూడా
So
అలానే ఉందా?
yeah, one thing to make sure is if you're feeling a little tired or like exhausted with doing this practice, it lot of us are not used to deep breathing in general. we tend to breathe from our diaphragm more than our stomach. So, one thing you can do is observe how your stomach raises and falls back when you inhale and exhale. So, these deep breaths, when you take, actually focus on your stomach and see your stomach raise up and like move back in with exhale. So, you're breathing more deeply into your stomach rather than shallow breathing.
అదే ఒక
So,
ఒక చెయ్యి ఏదైనా పెట్టుకుంటే దానిపైన మనకు అర్థం అవుతుంది అనుకుంటా.
yeah, if you put your hand on it, it's more, you can easily notice that.
అబ్జర్వ్. అదే అదే. ఓకే ఓకే.
Yeah,
థ్యాంక్ యూ అమ్మా.
sure. Thanks, Andy.
ఓకే.
Okay, so moving forward, we will move into the second half of the program. Next week, we are going to discuss a little bit more about habits in general and how some helpful tips that help you implement habits better. And moving forward, the rest of our habits are going to be more about morning rituals and daytime rhythms. So far, we focused on evening and some core rhythms. So next half, we're going to focus on morning rituals. So the key takeaways, I want to really drill down like few key takeaways from the first half and overall for this program that you need to keep in mind. Firstly, awareness. Awareness comes first. The most important step in any habit change is awareness because real change begins not by fixing or controlling, it's by observing them first, right? First, observe them, and you begin to notice when you feel hungry, for example, when your energy rises or falls, when our mind feels calm or restless. All of these things throughout the day, if you start to begin noticing these, this observation helps us understand what actually is happening in the body. So, if and without this awareness, if you tend to force change, it's not going to work long term, and it's hard to stick to things that are not really working out for you. So, change always begins with awareness. And another principle is that small steps matter. We're emphasizing starting small because many times we try to change everything at once, diet or sleep or exercise or routines. It all quickly becomes very overwhelming. So instead, we focused on one small habit at a time and small adjustments, but practiced consistently. They're, it's far more powerful to make small shifts consistently than drastic changes that only last a few days. So, over time, these small steps will accumulate and they create very deep and sustainable transformation. And the third thing that I really want to highlight is about rhythms. Rhythms is the core of like what we're trying to build here. All the habits that we practice so far, be it hydration rhythm or early dinner or evening unwinding or rituals, they all point to this deeper principle of building a rhythm. As we discussed in one of the earlier sessions, our body functions best when it moves in rhythm with nature. Our bodies are deeply, inherently connected with nature and everything around us. And there's no way we can really bypass it. Although we have artificial lighting, we have all of this modern day distractions, our bodies are still like ages old systems, our physical bodies that are still adapting to these more recent changes. So you have to support your body by really aligning with nature. Nature has this cycle of activity, nourishment, slowing down, rest, the cycle of sun and moon, the day and night. And all of our habits, when they align with these rhythms, the body doesn't have to struggle to maintain balance, and health becomes more easier. So, this is something that I really want you to keep in mind. It's not about how much water you drink, for example. It's about how you drink it in relation with your meal timings, in rhythm, in relation to day and night. Like, what's the rhythm of it is something to keep in mind. And how are you eating? It's not about eating early dinner per se, but also are you able to eat dinner around the same time every day? Are you giving predictability to your body? Is your body feeling safe? It only feels safe when it knows what to expect. So the predictability aspect is something that you should keep in mind. And final reminder that when we're thinking about building habits, we fall into this all or nothing thinking. We feel like if you cannot do everything perfectly, there's no point starting. But do not expect yourself to like really be perfect. Start small and keep consistent with it. So that's it for today. I wish you all the best for implementing all of these. And if you have any questions, you can bring them up again.